Darla real estate agent with Real Broker in South Louisiana, on my way this morning to go show potential buyers a beautiful home, and I wanted to discuss with y'all closing costs. This is absolutely something I did not know anything about before I got into real estate 5.5 years ago. Those of you who know me know that before I got into real estate 5.5 years ago, I had been in education for my entire career and literally knew nothing about real estate at all. And so closing cost is something that people are very confused about, I find. And this is what it is. It's very simple. Closing costs are the costs that are paid at closing that are all the things that go into getting a loan. So that usually the costs are the buyer's costs, and it could be their appraisal, it could be lender fees, it could be partial taxes, it could be partial insurance, it could be all those things that roll into a ball and that someone has to pay at closing. I had a listing appointment a couple of weeks ago, and the potential client said to me, the seller said to me, we're not paying closing costs. And I'm sure you've heard people say before, never say never. And lots of times people will say no to things that they don't fully understand. So let's just picture this situation for a minute. You're a seller. You're selling your house for $100,000. You have a buyer who wants to buy your house and qualifies to buy your house with 100% financing and doesn't have a penny. Does not have a penny. Believe it or not, there are plenty of buyers out there who do not have a penny and can buy a house. They absolutely can buy a house. So let's say your house is $100,000 and you list it for sale and you get an offer for $100,000 from the buyer, but they are requesting $6,000 in closing costs because they don't have any. And the only way they can buy your house is if you agree to pay the $6,000 in closing costs. Okay, so picture that. You have a full price offer. They're offering you full price, but they need $6,000 in closing costs. In all reality, it's not a full price offer, because if you agree to pay the $6,000 in closing costs, really it's $94,000, because the $6,000 really is not something that you, the seller, are bringing physically to the closing table. And that's the misconception lots of sellers have. They believe that they're bringing a check to pay for the buyer's closing costs. You absolutely are not. If your house is listed for $100,000 and the buyers say, we need $6,000 in closing costs or we can't buy your house, you have a decision to make. How badly do you need to sell the house? Can you sell it at $94,000? Because basically it's the same thing as if those buyers had money in the bank and offered you $94,000, but are going to pay all of their own closing costs. It's the same exact thing. So closing costs are all the fees that the buyers need in order to buy the home. And so listen, like I said, there are plenty of buyers who have great credit. They are qualified to buy a home, but do not have the closing costs to buy a house. It happens every single day, and every situation is different. So the closing costs or the cost that the buyer will assume in order to get to the closing table, and those charges are also partially what they're going to pay to the title attorney to do all the paperwork, to do all the research, to make sure that you have the right to sell your place, that you have a clear title. And so all of those charges also go into closing costs as well. So the closing costs, what you have to think about from the selling standpoint is when you get an offer, look at the offer, because the offer is going to have the sale price. It's going to have the date that the buyers want to close on, but part of that contract is going to be the buyers are probably going to ask you to pay either all of their closing costs, a portion of their closing costs, or something. And then you have to decide, how badly do you want to sell your house? Do the numbers work out for you? And all those things. And your agent should be able to explain all those things to you. So remember this, the closing costs are a ball of charges that the buyer has to pay at closing to cover a litany of things that the seller actually can agree to pay. All of it, part of it, and it's going to just depend on, like I said, from the selling standpoint, is the offer one that you are willing to entertain and willing to do. A lot of times, if let's just say your house just hit the market and it's a hot item and you think that it's going to sell maybe rather quickly, you might have a couple of different offers on it. You may receive an offer. Let's again say that your house is listed for $100,000. You have a buyer that really, really, really wants your house. They may very well offer you $106,000 and say, but we need $6,000 in closing costs, which again takes the price from 106 to 100. You're getting what the list price is. They're adding $6,000 to the sale price. The gamble there is your house going to appraise for that amount? So anytime the closing costs are added to the price of the house, that's a gamble. That's an absolute gamble for the buyers and the sellers. Because let's just say that it's listed for 100, they offer you 106, so that you pay $6,000 in closing, but it only appraises for 100, right? So then what? You're back to the drawing board with that. And that is why you need a real estate agent on your side, whether you're the buyer or the seller, that can explain to you all of those different scenarios, all of the different pros and cons. There are so many different ways to make something work. So remember that. What you're looking for, whether you're the buyer or the seller, and you don't understand a lot of things, you're looking for a real estate agent who can explain to you all those different scenarios and do what's best for you, whether you're the buyer or the seller. What's going to be best for you, what needs to happen, so that either you can sell what you need to sell or you can buy what you need to buy. So closing costs, remember, as the seller, go into it with an open mind and don't just say, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this. Listen, you may get an amazing offer on your house and they don't ask for anything, but all they need is a portion of closing costs. Listen, that could potentially be an amazing offer. So just remember that you need someone on your side, if you don't understand all of that, someone that can explain it to you and just explain how it works and what's the process. Today is looking like it's going to be an amazingly beautiful day. It is a great day to be a buyer. It is a great day to be a seller. And if you are in either one of those categories and you have questions, remember, in real estate, there are no stupid questions. Ask all your questions. So just to recoup, go back and listen to the beginning if you want to, but closing costs are all of your lender fees, all of your closing cost fees from the title attorney, all the charges that they will charge you for as they're going through as the buyer and making sure that what you're buying is clear and free and the title's good and all those things. All of those charges are rolled into one, and those are your closing costs. So anyway, remember this, there are no stupid questions. Ask your questions. If you're thinking about buying or selling soon, I'd love to have a conversation with you. If I am not in your area and you are looking for a great real estate agent, get in touch with me, because I can absolutely find you someone wherever you are, whether you're looking to buy or sell. I got a call from a great high school friend a couple of weeks ago that's looking to sell her place in Texas, And so I found her an amazing agent in that area who is going to work with her to help her get her house sold so that she can move back down here to be closer to family. And I love doing that. And so it absolutely can be beneficial to you to get a recommendation from another realtor who knows another realtor to help you wherever you are. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and reach out if there is anything at all that I can do to help you. Y'all take care.